What's up guys, it's your sister's favorite YouTuber, Gingy, and today we're trickshotting and quickscoping on Black Ops 6, specifically the new Bullet Train map, and apparently it's Call of Duty's smallest map ever. Now I know some of the COD community doesn't like small maps, but I do. Your mom is also not a fan of small things, that's why she DMs me on Facebook. And this is a story time with Gingy where I tell you 100% true stories about my life. So make sure you hit that notifications button and comment, like, and subscribe. And my first story is about managers at work. So I used to work at this arts and crafts store and we had this manager. He was like a heavier Peter Griffin. And this manager was our night shift manager. And I kept hearing this rumor go around work that he got fired from his last management position at Target. Now you're probably wondering, what's so weird about that? Many people get fired. The weird part is, apparently he got fired from being a manager at Target for slapping his salami on the clock in the office. You heard me right. He was polishing his rocket in the office as a manager at Target. You know, watching the good old corn hub, I said corn, while tuning his antenna, beating his schmeat, milking the lizard, waxing the carrot, tugging the slug. I asked ChatGPT for nicknames for whacking it off, and they're pretty great. Flogging the dolphin, burping the worm. Now that's a wild accusation if you ask me. And a lot of coworkers didn't like this manager, so I figured somebody just made it up and spread a fake rumor around work. Plus, if he got fired from being a manager at Target for flogging his dolphin, I highly doubt any other workplace would hire him as a manager. Now, if he was a manager at Walmart, totally makes sense. Plus, this manager was a little weird, but not that weird, and he was really nice to me all the time. Anyways, a few months later, I went to work all week and I didn't see this manager once. And I used to see this manager all the time because I worked the night shift a lot. So I asked a different manager, hey, what happened to Peter Griffin? And apparently, he got caught wrestling the one-eyed snake again in his office. Wrestling the one-eyed snake. ChatGPT is wild. Not as wild as my manager though. What makes this even worse is that in his office is all the security cameras on a screen in front of him, so he could literally be flogging his dolphin while making eye contact with you through the camera, and you would never know. So yeah, apparently another manager went in the office and caught Peter Griffin tugging his slug on Corn Hub again, and he got fired. And that's where the story ends. I wish the story was longer. I also wish something else was longer, but we can't all get what we want, right? But yeah, I really wish I knew what job he went to after getting fired from my job. And I'm curious if he just kept the streak up. Because if you're 2 for 2 already, you might as well make it a third time, am I right? I'm honestly more upset that I wasn't working the shift when he got fired, because that would have been hilarious to see everybody's reactions. Also, how do you get your stuff out of the office and leave after being fired from doing that? And did he get to finish? I have a lot of questions. Now, I could be making this part up because I don't exactly remember, but if I do remember correctly, I think he got fired from Target because another employee checked the search history on his computer and saw all the Corn Hub links. Again, I could be making that part up, but I'm going to include it because, just remember, always clear your search history, because if not, you could get fired. Also, I don't recommend spanking your monkey while you're at work, especially if you're a manager. Like if you're a janitor, maybe you got a whole janitor's closet to yourself. Now don't get me wrong, I get that he was the night shift manager and nighttime is typically when guys like to crank one out, but couldn't you just flip your schedule and slap the salami in the morning? Like instead of a morning coffee, couldn't you just polish your rocket before your shift? I'm forever using these terms from now on, by the way. And let me know in the comments below, do any of you guys have any stories about coworkers or managers getting fired for wild reasons? Is this like a common thing? Also, have any of you flogged your dolphin at work? Anyways, my next story takes place when I was a freshman in college, and just like any other college kid, I downloaded all the dating apps, and just like your alcoholic gambling uncle, I had zero luck. I went to college in an area that I've never been before, so I didn't know anybody, and I went to art school, so there weren't many options. Don't get me wrong, there were options. They were just weird, and not options that you want. Like for example, I remember the first few months of being in college, I went to the vending machine in my dorm building, and there was a girl dressed as a cat behind the vending machine, and she hissed at me. Now, if you're into that kind of thing, there were a lot of options at my school for you. So after months of being on the generic dating apps like Tinder and Bumble and having zero luck and losing all faith in the world, I decided to ask one of my guy friends if he had any recommendations for any other dating apps. And he gave me one, so I instantly downloaded it and started making my profile. It took me like 20 to 30 minutes to set up my profile on this dating app. This dating app asked me questions that no other dating app has ever asked me, like, what size is your pickle? I thought that question was a little weird, but of course I answered it, and I lied, of course. So I'm setting up my profile on this dating app, sitting on my friend's couch, and my friend is sitting in a chair across from me, smirking the entire time, and I'm asking him questions about what I should put on my profile and if my profile looks okay. So after 30 minutes of setting up this profile, it's finally time to start swiping and hopefully matching. So I get to swiping. So I'm just sitting there on my friend's couch, swiping more than anybody has ever swiped in their life, swiping for a whole 10 minutes. And I start getting really confused. I go, bro, why are there only dudes in our area? My friend burst out laughing. The dating app he recommended me was the dating app Grindr. And if you don't know what Grindr is, it's a dating app for gay men. And if you do know what Grindr is, I'm not judging you. I'm really not. All I'm gonna say is, your boy got a lot of matches and a lot of weird DMs. A lot of weird DMs, a lot of pictures, because you can send pictures immediately on that app. I was digitally violated, honestly. But hey, it was the first time in my life I ever felt wanted. But yeah, my friend couldn't stop laughing at me. It took me a whole 50 minutes to realize that I was being pranked. I spent so much time and effort on that profile too. But hey, if you ever want to feel wanted and desired, download Grindr. Or if you ever want to play a prank on your friend, trick them into downloading it. I'm not hating, it's just not my personal preference. I got like 50 to 100 matches in like 5 minutes. That has to be a record. And if you do happen to download the app Grindr, for whatever reason, again, judge-free zone over here, don't open the DMs. You're gonna see some things. A lot of flogging the dolphin going on there. But hey, if you do want to see that, download Grindr. I honestly should have known by the name of the app that something was up. I'm over here like, oh, dating app called Grindr? There could be nothing weird about this. I thought it was just a spin-off of Tinder. It is, but just for a whole different demographic.